I think that pretty much all of the issues that our industry faces and has faced for a while, but I think most of them, if not all of them, are down to one thing, and that is a lack of profitability. Now, first of all, let me just explain profitability as against profit. Profit is what you have at the end of the year, which you get taxed on. Um, Profitability seems like it's the same thing, and it kind of is. But the difference, what I mean, is that if your business is profitable, you are able to reinvest. I always say profit needs to do two things. You know, it needs to give you what you want, and it needs to give you what you need. Want is for you as a salon owner, as a business owner. What do I want from my business? Obviously, I want a salary, but what do I want over and above that? I work hard for this, and so on. I've put my life's energy and effort and savings and everything else, maybe even my house on the line. So yeah, I want a salary, I want a decent salary, but I also want it to fuel me in my life in other areas and the things, and obviously that's different for every single individual and whatever. So that's one. That's easy to understand. Need, that's the other one. You need to be profitable enough to basically give you what you want from your business and what you need and what your business needs, and that's reinvestment. And I think that what's happening is that either there's not enough profit to do either of those two things. Now, what happens when you're not getting what you want from it? In other words, you're not being able to pay yourself a fair salary. You're not getting the benefits of maybe a profitable business over and above that salary. That's fine at the beginning, and it makes good sense. I'd argue that it wouldn't be good business sense to start taking money out of the business in the early stages. The danger is that when it becomes the later stages of your business and you're still not able to, you lose your mojo. As a business owner, you start to lose your motivation. You're sat on the bed going, oh, God, on the edge of the bed. I call it the edge of the bed talk. And you're sat there going, oh, come on, what's the point? I tell you what, the worst days when you're paying wages sometimes, because you realise you're paying some of your team more than you're getting yourself. And I think when that happens, it doesn't matter how positive you are, how passionate you are, how good an actor you think you are, your team start to feel it. They start to feel that you've lost your mojo. And this is not what we're talking about necessarily here today, but there's a lot of talk in the industry today about where's the passion gone, the energy, the fun, all of those things. And you know what? I'm sorry, I always say passion starts at home. If we're not passionate, how can we expect them to be? And I think sometimes the salon owner, the business owner, is being ground down. And it's very difficult for you to be passionate, for you to be having fun, for you to have energy. Well, you know what? That's going to come through your team, and it's the same thing. So the downside of you not being able to get what you want from the business, apart from the obvious, is I really think it becomes a downward spiral. It starts to impact on the team, and then when the team haven't got the passion and energy, that then makes you feel more depressed and fed up, and what's the bloody point, and my team, etc., etc. And then that it just cycles all the way down, and I think that's happening a lot at the moment.